Jesus Christ warned us it'd be worse in our days than it was in the days of Noah. What do you think he really meant by that? When you ask yourself these questions, he told the disciples that when they asked him, "When are you going to come back? We want to know when you're going to come back." And when he described that it'll be worse than our days than in the days of Noah, you have to remember back to the book of Enoch and how the fallen angels had mixed with the humans. And it didn't turn out so well. And that bloodline still exists in them to this day, whether they look like Nephilim or not. And so Jesus Christ warned us of how it would be. Now, remember, I'm sure somebody out there has heard, do what Jesus would do, or what would Jesus do if he was in your situation, right? And we all know we're non-perfect humans. We all got something that, leads to aggravation or frustration that needs to be fixed within us. And that doesn't exactly come from the best places, And so, or the best races that could have been mixed with us a long time ago, right? So when we remember these things and how Christ warned us how to be, Jesus Christ didn't go around, smiting thy enemy, killing people. He didn't go around taking people's lives. He went right telling us the opposite, to turn each other's cheeks and to love one another for the short time we're here, and to try to be as much as like God, that is love, while we're here. And if we're not, there's something that, is not love that should be love, right? And we all need to remember that, because for the short time we're here, whether it's on earth, we definitely want to go back home to God. There's no point in being down here if you have not love, right? And those that have love have God. That is one that cares and never gives up on us. Christ is that love. And as it was in the book of Enoch, when the fallen angels mixed with humans and caused that genocide of DNA, and taught people how to kill one themselves and to kill each other with swords and other things. Our lives could have been better. And that's what the Bible showed us, that this is what happened. This is this and this and this war. How much of the love did they show you that was actually God? How much? There's all that of the Bible, and we waited for the Messiah and his words, and they didn't record much of it. I think there was more words from Paul in the end that murdered most Christians and slaughtered them in the arenas than there was the words of Christ, that there should have been. For Christ is the Son of God, and we came here to learn and love and follow him to God, not worship Jesus. Christ never said this. He said, I am the path, the life, the truth, the way to God. And when a woman came upon him, Jesus Christ said, there's no good in me but God. That this woman just kept on saying, you're so good, Jesus, you're so good. I'm sure anybody who's ever done good for somebody knows out there and should know, because you should have been doing good, right? To know what that feels like, and somebody calls you good and you just want to tell them, hey, give credit to God. Don't give credit to me, even though I'm a piece of God. That's really cool of you to give credit, but let's give credit where credit's well overdue, to the one above, not below, right? That screwed us over, and the ones that brought us down here and didn't really care for humanity like they should have. Had they cared for humanity, this world would have been a better place for you and me. Had the Watchers that were originally sent here to watch over humans cared and came out and did the right thing, we would have had such a beautiful place, and it wouldn't have been anything like this and what it turned out to be, you know. And that's, I'm not talking about just some people's realities. I'm talking about, you know, what's going on in the world that we don't see, and the things that we want to change that are not good on the earth. And the consciousness of God tells us that love is the answer, and to care and to have that peace of Christ within us, and to call upon Yeshua Christ in your dreams. Do not think that all these realms exist. You have past, present, and future in your own mind. The three worlds. You exist in the 3D reality, do you not? In the third world from the sun, by NASA standards anyway, that taught people a lot of lies. But anyway, you can, you know that these truths exist, and that stuff that happened in the garden with the snake, that stuff's real, where they mixed humans and, you know, the fallen, which God turned into, we can call them the lizard people, you can call them whatever, you know what I mean? But Argonauts, things that invisibly mess with the humans' poor psyches, you know what I mean? We got to be stronger than that God made us. And whether you are a angel or a human or whatever we are, we got to stick up for Yeshua Christ and realize that no matter what comes against us or what tries to mess with us, that his love is all around us, bigger and better than any giant or Nephilim fallen angel could ever imagine to be for us if they were still stuck here on earth. And I say stuck on earth, but they're just past the ice walls from Antarctica. They're still there. There's some of them that are just frozen and waiting to come back, as it says in the Bible in Revelations of the Titans. People, please remember that Jesus Christ warned us that the Antichrist comes first. That this is no joke. He comes first to test and try you and say he's Jesus and he's all, you know, these great people in one, and it's not going to be pretty, because what happens to that and the retribution of them trying to take God's children away from him. People, there's no adults here. Jesus was the only adult. He's the only one that gave a crap about us in so many ways. The only one that loved us enough to die for us. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, some of us humans have had people try to kill us. And God is the only one within us to try to be able to forgive those people. And who can forgive them but God within you? Where you can concentrate on life and love and God and have heaven on earth right now and not have to wait past, present, future, but you can have it now because God loves you and you can feel his love. And when you concentrate on just him, you get that. And no one else can take that away. No one else can take that concentration and that love away that only he can give you. This world isn't very long, my friends. And the DNA has mixed so much that the fallen angels have mixed so much with mankind that mankind has literally lost their freaking mind. And they need help. And they need God's love. They need Yeshua Christ. And God's going to have Yeshua Christ come back in a way you guys never even imagined. And it's not through some clouds while you're alive. If you're pinching yourself and you're still in the flesh, that's not Jesus, okay? You want to know if that's the Antichrist? Pinch your butt. Pinch your... do whatever it is you got to do. But if you're still in the flesh, buddy, that ain't Jesus. Okay? Christ said, I'll meet you in the spirit, which means without the flesh. You have 11 dimensions in your mind. You guys got to remember this. There's only 3 here There's 11. Where do you go when you dream at night? You go to another world. You go and you come back here. There's things you have to finish. There's things you have to do while you're on earth. You got to help others. You got to do right. And you got to tell others about Christ. All of you. For the short time we are here. God is great. God is the giver of all prosperity. But what's the point of having that prosperity if you don't have the love in your heart to guide it and to do the right thing, my loves? We have to care. We have to be there. And that assures that He, the one that made us, the one that cares, protects us, guides us, heals us, all in Yeshua Christ's precious name. Those snakes in the garden messed up God's creation, and Yeshua came as a perfect mirror to fix it. So when you guys get to heaven, know that Yeshua Christ is your perfect mirror for God to look through. God doesn't see your faults. He sees what He made you originally. He doesn't see the sin. He sees the goodness from God within. And it comes so much more of at a price than people realize. As it was Jesus Christ was the one who died. He gave His life before the foundations of the earth were laid. And as you have 7 chakras, there are 7 seals that will be spilled at the end of days. And this is no joke. Everything's connected. And all of you better start learning spiritual alchemy instead of trying to turn things to gold in the material realm. Learn how to wear God's helm. Learn how to care and to be there. And not just because somebody says to, but do it because you love God and you wanted Him in your heart before the world ever began. You saw who He was when He said, "Now you are born in the world of man. I am with you. I will never forsake you." God told you through Jesus Christ it's not going to be worth it on earth. Or it's not going to be easy. Excuse me. Forgive me. Messed that up. But it's not going to be easy on earth. But it would be worth it when you get back home. When you've done the work and you've grown. When you care and you've shown all the love in your heart. And you know God's never going to part. Because He's one with you and He looks out of your eyes. He sees everything you feel. His love is the realest of real. Please understand. In this world of man, the consciousness of Christ will come back in a way that the world would never imagine. Don't believe Project Bluebeam or whatever it is that people want to say they've seen, that they, make up. It's because of something we've all been, conditioned down here while we're here. But remember who you are before you came here, my dear. Where God was clear, His voice was with you as one. Full of love, full of life, full of care. And no one else can be there like He can. Stay with Him in all your thoughts. You'll have a great life. Because Christ paid the cost.